Hey guys, it's Bree and welcome to my channel, Just Breezy. If you're new here, I'd love for you to consider subscribing. Just be sure you hit that bell for notifications because I don't want you to miss out. We upload weekly content to share resources, help spread awareness, and tell some of life's stories because like we say, life isn't always just breezy, but together, it can be a little easier. So guys, I am so excited to share with you a new series that we are working on that we're calling No Filter. The idea of it is that I'm sitting down with people that have been through sort of struggles in life and have come out on the other end or are still in it and want to share their experiences with you in the hopes of connecting or teaching other people about different walks of life. So our first guest is someone named Lexi, who I did a live stream with over on Facebook last year. And Lexi is someone that at the age of 14 was given a devastating diagnosis. But now she's 16 and she is sitting with us again for a little no filter chat to tell us where she's at right now and where she's planning on going in life. So Lexi, thank you so much for coming back and sharing your story. For those who may not know, who maybe didn't see the first video we did, can you sort of take us back to when you were 14 and how you knew something was sort of up and then what you found out?
So when I was 14, it was in May, and so there was starting to be blood in my urine. So I told my mom, and she thought it was nothing. So then the next day was fine. And then the day after that, it happened again. So then we went to the doctor, and then all the appointments from there. And then we ended up at an oncology office, and that's when they told me that, that's when they told me I needed surgery. And then that's when I got the surgery, they biopsied it, and then they found out that I had Ewing sarcoma.
Okay, and it wasn't one of those things where it was like, oh, we see this all the time in someone's kidney. What was that like?
No, so it's a bone cancer, so it's like extremely rare to be in my kidney. So that's why, so that's why they were like so confused of why, they were like, what is this? So they thought it was Wilms at first, but that's usually in like young children. So they were like a little confused, and then once they biopsied it, they were like, it's not that, it's Ewing sarcoma. And so they were like actually saying that it was better that it was in my kidney, like if it had to be somewhere in my body, because you could take out a kidney and you're completely fine and no one would know. So that's good.
Yes, so rare cancer in the kidney is a good thing. All right, good. So I know you had the surgery, you had it removed, you went through, was it a year of chemo? Is that right?
10 months.
10 months, okay. You had to stay out of school.
Yes.
Pull out of cheerleading.
Yep.
Right? So your normal life was now in the hospital.
Yes.
Right. And just a little bit, what was that like, that feeling of now being in the hospital instead of being at school with your friends?
It was very different, obviously. I mean, my friends would visit me, but it was like not the same. Like I didn't know a lot that was going on at school. I wasn't really in the loop with everything. Right. So it was kind of like I was just at the hospital then home. Plus I was super tired after chemo, so it was more like I was like just ready and I was done when I was home. So it was like kind of annoying not being with my friends. I was sad, but then after that everything changed and I was like back to normal.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I know when we sat down, what was it, August or September?
Yeah, I think September.
Somewhere around there, and it was like you were getting ready to sort of enter back into like normal life of a teenager. Now when you started school, did you feel like, okay, I'm Lexi who just had cancer, or were you able to just be like, okay, we're getting back to normal life? What was that like?
I mean, I was really nervous at first going into school because I was like, I have short hair, like, and I knew everyone was aware of my situation, but I was like, oh, like, people are gonna look at me, and like it was like that was a big thing for me because I had really long hair before. Right. So I was a little nervous going into it, and then once I got back into it, everyone was like happy to see me. I was happy to see all my friends and like be back, and like so everything was normal after I went back into school.
That's awesome. And then you got back into like your regular activities of cheer and hanging out with friends?
So I did fall season of cheer, just did all my regular schoolwork. I was getting good grades, so it was like everything was back to normal with me.
That's great. And then I saw you went on some vacations with your family.
Yes.
Right? Where did you go? It looked like a big vacation.
Yeah, like we did like really everything that you could do in Hawaii. It was so much fun. We did surfing lessons, we did snorkeling, we did parasailing, we went to a luau. So it was so fun, and like Make-A-Wish pays for everything for you, so they're like a really, really good foundation.
I heard a rumor that you got your license or your permit.
I did. I got my permit, yeah. Yeah. So I was holding off for a little bit because I was so busy and everything, but yeah, I just got my permit. My dad's gonna take me driving next week. My mom will not get in a car with me, but my dad's gonna take me driving because he's a little more like chill with that.
Right. Yeah.
But so yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And one of the, like, getting your permit is sort of like this rite of passage, right? As like a teenager. And is it one of those moments that make you stop and realize, like, okay, I'm healthy and I get to do something like this?
Yeah, like it's like a lot of things, like even little things that I was like, I could do this now. Like when I first ended chemo and I was able to go to the gym, and I was like, I could do this. I never did it before, but I could do it now.
Right.
You know, there's like so many things. I was like, even going on a walk, like my mom wouldn't let me go on a walk because I was at risk to like pass out. And now I was like, walking in the summer, I was like, I could do this now.
That's great.
And so even with my permit, I was like, I have my permit now. So yeah.
That's so great. So now you're in that point of like returning into normalcy, school, cheer, and you're on vacation, but you knew you had this appointment coming up. Because I remember you talking about this appointment in December. Was this something that was sort of hanging over your head?
I mean, I always get really nervous, and I get a lot of anxiety. Everyone calls it like scan-anxiety. Like it's like you're getting like so much anxiety for getting scans done. And like it's a mix of like just sitting in a machine knowing you can't move for like an hour.
Sure.
And like the results of it. So they're good. They always do the results super fast. But I was nervous because obviously I wanted everything to go well. But everything did, so.
Right. So what did they tell you? What did you find out?
So it's funny because the first time they told me that my cancer was gone, everyone was texting me. They're like, Lexi, congratulations. And my mom didn't tell me yet. So I was like, thanks. And I text my mom, and she's like, she calls me and she's like, oh yeah, we just got the good news. And I'm like, oh, everyone texted me before you did. Like, no one thought to text me about it. So then the second time, she made sure she texted me first. My doctor texted me, and she's like, I want to make sure you hear it first.
Right.
So yeah, I was like super happy, but that was just funny that no one told me the first time.
That is very funny. Your mom was probably so excited.
She was just telling everyone no, posting it on Facebook, and then meanwhile, I'm like out with my friends, and she didn't even tell me yet.
Right. That's hysterical. So what did that feel like to know that you're cancer free now?
It was a big relief, and it was like kind of like I could just get back to like everything normal in my life. And it was like for 10 months nothing was normal anymore. Like everything had changed that you could think of could change. Like I don't even know, like my daily routine changed. So like the fact that I can get back to normal and do everything that I was able to do before was like so nice.
I'm sure, right? Getting back to a little quote unquote normalcy, that must have felt great. Now and it's okay if you don't, but I always wonder when somebody goes through something like this, does it change your perspective on the everyday things? Like, are you walking around like I have a new lease on life, or is it something like you're like, okay, I'm living life now?
No, it changed my perspective on like a lot of things. Like, not that I would take things for granted before, but like I'm like thankful for like everything in my life now, and like it's like I don't take anything for granted.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And now you told me you're a junior now in high school, and you're looking to the future. And for you, what does that future look like? What do you want to do?
I always wanted to do something with nursing, so I was thinking either pediatric oncology or neonatal, because like I do want to give back to people, and even if it's just not my hospital that I went to, I want to give back to, people who aren't as lucky as I was. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, I love that so much. When you were going through this entire journey, right, being in the hospital, chemo and all of that, I know you to be a very positive person, but you had those moments of the what if, right? What if this doesn't turn out the way that can you go back to that time and explain that to me? Is that okay?
Yeah, I had a talk with my doctor, and I didn't want to be one of those kids, not to be morbid, that like doesn't know like that something's gonna happen, like so I was like, you have to be straightforward to me. Like if something goes wrong, you have to tell me about it. Like you can't can't hide it from me because I'm old enough. I'm 15 years old I was at the time. I was like, you could tell me if something's not looking good.
Yeah.
And she told me that she would never lie to me about that, and she would always be honest, and she said you and your family would be the first to know.
Right.
So she was like, I wouldn't try and keep that from you if you want me to know. She said, because every kid is different.
Sure.
Some are too young to understand, and some just don't want to know.
Right.
But with me, it was like I wanted to know everything that was going on with my situation.
Yeah.
So I was a little sad. My mom went down. She would like left the room, whatever, and my doctor just sat there for like a good hour and a half talking to me about like, you know, the things that I was gonna do when I was like done with chemo, and like she just explained it in a really like good way that like made me less nervous about everything.
Oh, that's so important. I know you had this amazing support system of your doctors and friends, your sister.
Yes.
Right? I know she was by your side.
Yes, through the whole thing. She cut her hair with me. She cut her hair to her shoulders. She had long hair too. So yeah, everyone was there for me. That was like a really important part of everything.
Is there something that if somebody asks, or something you can say to someone because you've been through it, that you feel like might make a difference?
I always like when I texted one of my family friends, I texted her and I said, listen, I said, a lot of people are telling you like, stay strong, you're gonna get through this, and they don't know. And I know you will get through it. And I was like, but it's not gonna be easy, and it's not gonna be, you know, the best situation, but like, you have to keep your head up. And I always tell them as a girl, I'm like, losing your hair is not the end of the world. Like seemed like it to me, like that it was gonna be the end of the world, and it wasn't. I was like, you're gonna get through it, just keep your head up. And I try and just give people like the most positive advice that I could.
Sure.
And I hope that makes a difference.
I'm sure it does, honestly, Lex. One of my goals in doing these type of videos and the videos that I do is that I really believe that when you tell the things, right, you share the things that you're going through, there's gonna be one person at least that says, oh my gosh, I'm going through that too, or I went through it, and then they feel like they're not alone in it, right? So is that important to you to bring awareness?
Yeah, I like always would tell people like, if you need to talk to me, I'm here. Like, you know, I see people on Instagram or like anything like social media, and they're like going through the same thing or similar something to me, and I'm like, you know, like if like you need to talk, I'm here. Like, because I think it's important that like people like all around like in the community like talk to each other, like people like me, like who would, you know, text me, or like so many people like direct messaged me on Instagram, and like who didn't even know me, and said like, you know, like here's some tips, this is what you should do, like this is what like great. You know. So I think like that I took a lot from that, and like I want to help other people like that, like my family friend who, you know, is still going through treatment. She's going to be done soon. And I think, yeah, so we just went wig and extension shopping together. So it was like, I want to like just spread awareness to everyone.
Is it awkward if I hug you?
No.
Is that okay? Oh, I love you so much, honestly. Thank you so much. Oh, well, you stop. But thank you so much, because this is so important. And I love that you shared your story, and you do it with like confidence, and you're genuine. And I really appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.